Welcome to the big time, pal!
The victory is well fought.
Welcome to the big time, pal!
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to yet another episode of The Saloon. I, of course, am the Big Ted. I'm joined here tonight by my co-host, as always, Sage. How's it going, man?
Oh, great, man. I had breakfast in a restaurant today, and it was great. And then I went and got my hair cut. It was also great.
Nice.
Some pictures of a couple places. You might, maybe if you're part of those communities, you'll see them. If you'd like to see it, just send me a DM, and I will gladly show you my haircut.
Also, as always, we have RonMexico. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, man. Happy to be here. Not living my absolute best life like Sage at the moment, but it's been a good day, you know. Glad to have A2 on, even though he kind of beat me up pretty good to earn his spot here, but excited to talk some Hero again, like always.
Yeah, and we have...
He absolutely took you to Pound Town.
Yeah, we have our special guest from Tam Pam Surfsland, A2 Battleship. How's it going, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. It looks like Bob already opened a tab for me.
Nice.
I'm doing great. I just celebrated my girlfriend's birthday this weekend, and it was great seeing after, being at school for so long. So, really in a good mood going into this.
Very good.
It's really exciting with all the stuff that's going around. So let's just jump into it.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about today, so let's get right into it.
Yeah, we should probably jump straight in.
Yeah. All right. So first, as always, we have the meta report. And also keep in mind to keep this with a grain of salt. Obviously, things are going to change a lot with the nerfs, but we'll be going over those in a few minutes. But let's talk about what we saw last week.
Well, we were just discussing this a moment
crazy.
ago.
Yeah.
This top one in frequency and win rate really surprised all of us.
Yeah, I think we had agreed that the weak link here was probably Warlock and its inconsistency. It's just very swinging.
Yeah.
I think another
A2 had
problem.
some-
Oh yeah.
What?
Well, one of the problems I think is that Warlock is way too inconsistent, and I think there's a lot of overlap between the decks that Demon Hunter counters and the decks that Warlock counters. Right? They're both fast, on the board tempo-y decks with a little bit of burst at the end, and Demon Hunter is just better at doing it. They don't really need redundancy in Hero. Maybe if you're scared they're going to ban Demon Hunter, but even then, I think Hunter does a little bit better job than Warlock. In general, and it's more flexible and so on and so forth.
For sure, man.
and,
That is
and
definitely.
it's interesting to see the bands changing too.
Yeah, definitely.
They are. Oh man, I can't even tell what's getting banned right now.
Like well, I mean, like week 1 we had a massive amount of Demon Hunter bans, and then week 2 we really kind of shifted into like more warrior bans, and now we're again seeing warrior is kind of dominating in terms of total bans. Demon Hunter still has the second most, and Hunter is on the rise with bans, as well as Priest, which I think always occupies at least a decent size because it's hero, and that can be polarizing, and there are a lot of lineups where you might feel like you are going to get swept by priests. So,
Definitely.
but Hunter is on the rise, and what I'm really interested about is with these nerfs coming up, are we finally going to see our first week where no one brings Demon Hunter?
No.
No.
I don't think it's that bad.
I very highly doubt that.
Sorry, I misspoke. Not no one brings Demon Hunter.
Oh, no one bans it.
There will be someone who didn't bring it. That's
Oh.
what I meant to say.
Well, I
Well,
didn't bring
there've
it,
been a
but
few.
I don't know if I even count anymore.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say only 59 people brought it last week, so that means one didn't.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see
Wait,
that.
I was the only person that didn't bring it.
Oh, it was Sage too.
Did you do Sage?
Also, we can.
I took it to 5 games. I could have won.
He got at least 2 points, ladies and gentlemen. What a great.
Also,
At least 2.
Something-
Solid week.
I didn't do bad. I'll put it that way.
something else very
Yeah.
interesting. We see no shamans.
Yeah,
it's another
maybe
week of
that's
no
going to
shamans.
change
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You know, Shaman's getting around to buffs, so that's going to be interesting.
0 shamans with the win rate of div divided by 0 exclamation point.
And we were also talking about Warlock, and you can see going 2 and 11. That's rough.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
Warlock had a really rough
That is
time.
rough.
Yeah, I think Warlock's probably better in Legacy, to be honest.
Probably.
You were talking about the overlap between the matchups, and that makes a lot of sense because like that's better for like targeting certain classes when you overlap. Whereas you're not targeting any hero people, you're just counter queuing. That's it. So if you bring stuff that targets better than it counters, then you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
Usually the trend I see when I'm doing these 2 different formats is that last hero standing, it's you want to cover all of the bases, and legacy format you want to cover the same base for all 4 decks.
Yeah.
And usually it's something that you say, oh, I hope they bring it, or it's something that they always bring, and it's much easier and much less stressful in that case. So in that case, Warlock's a great 4th deck, right? It's an aggressive tempo-y deck with Face Hunter or Dragon Hunter, and then Tempo Demon Hunter, and then either a Galcron Rogue of some sort, or sometimes a Highlander Mage, or something like that. Or
You could also go, Murloc Holly, yeah.
So yeah, that makes it a good 3rd or 4th deck in that scenario. But like I said before, it's kind of hard to counter with a deck like Zoo Warlock, and part of it, the reason is because it's not as good in the tier list as other things, and part of it is just that it's too inconsistent. Which was one of the reasons why you didn't see a lot of Murloc Paladin in last year standing when it was Prismatic Lens version, because they're very similar in ideas, where you get on board, you sometimes draw the good thing that makes it so that you get all on board on one big swingy turn, and you just hit them in the face, and hopefully you drew the thing that made you win. And when you don't, you usually lose, unless it's a very specific matchup where they just can't deal with it.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's
move on to the nerfs and bans. Yeah.
Nerfs and buffs. Yeah. So
you want to go ahead, Ted?
Yeah, I mean, I think instead of just running through them all individually, we'll just talk what do you guys think is going to be removed, and what do you think stays in?
Yeah, this is surprising. 12 cards got changed.
Yeah,
and I mean, obviously, Demon Hunter's still getting hit. This is the 3rd round of nerfs for Demon Hunter. It's pretty significant to lose the health on the Priestess. That hits a lot of breakpoints that it didn't before. And the Sigil Runner, was often like really difficult for a lot of decks to deal with. Like you'd want to be playing your aggressive like 2 mana 3/2 to follow their first turn, but you couldn't because a 2/1 was on the board and it just contested it so well. So losing that one attack is actually pretty big for Sigil Runner.
Yeah,
Those are the
and
most
speaking of
important
health,
ones I see right off the bat.
I want to say, speaking of health, the Scavenger's Ingenuity nerf, I think, is actually really huge for Face Hunter. I was looking at a meta report earlier that doesn't even show Face Hunter being on the map anymore. It shows
Wow.
Highlander Hunter being like #1 across the board. But Face Hunter is just gone.
Yeah, I think part of the reason is they both use the card, but they use the card in very different ways. When you see
They
what
really do.
if you see what Highlander Hunter is using Scavenger's Ingenuity for, and you look at the beast that it runs, it's usually just a few where it's Diving Griffin,
Yeah.
Zixor, and then maybe one other one that's like a Phase Stalker.
Maybe
Some-
Face Stalker, yeah.
Yeah.
I know the Highlander I'm familiar with just has Zixor, and yeah. But the Face Hunter really relies on the Scavenger's Ingenuity bringing like the good beasts out, like the Boars and the Face Stalker.
Yeah.
So
And
Yeah,
and
that's a big nerf for Face Hunter, not really big for Highlander. When your 2 of gets nerfed, that's a lot different than your
Yeah.
1 of getting nerfed.
and then
Yeah.
plus, I feel like the draw aspect is a lot more important for the Highlander rather than the stats.
yeah, it just uses it as a tutor. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, like
that's,
obviously the stats are nice, but the main point is to tutor your very strong cards. Meanwhile, all Face really cares about is the stats.
And
Yeah.
we were just looking at Warlock having such a rough week in Hero last week. And now Scrap Imp got nerfed a little bit, and your minions have less health when this guy wakes up. So that could be even worse for Warlock's chances in Hero, unless maybe they pivot to Quest Warlock or, a Galakron Warlock or
Yeah,
something.
which I kind of
Yeah.
don't see happening.
How are you guys feeling about Shaman? They got a lot of buffs, but I don't.
I still think it's
outside of Torrent. I don't know how significant it's really going to have of an impact.
yeah. I
I'm
still
not
think it's too
sold
weak.
on Torrent.
Yeah,
I'm not
neither
sold
am
on
I.
Torrent. I'm not sold on Shattered Rumbler. I could see Lurker Below in just a regular tempo-y deck.
Yeah, they
because-
changed Lurker Below from trash to like actually good.
Yeah,
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 it's like a better. What is it?
Fire Elemental.
Fire elemental. Yeah.
Yeah.
like I feel like the biggest issue with Torrent, like you were saying, is that there's really not too much in the meta that's hitting. We're in such an aggressive meta that there's not too much you're really looking to kill is that big.
There's
But I mean,
maybe
there
one
there
thing-
is
Imagine
room
Torrent just
for
being 0 mana all the time. Would it still be like? Would it actually be playable?
Maybe.
there might be room for a control shaman to go on the rise, but that's probably the only real archetype that shaman is gonna have that changes so far in this meta. Totem shaman was on the fringe, but I mean these cards don't buff totem shaman at
No.
all, so there's not really any major change there.
You'd be
Warrior, I
surprised.
don't think really gets hit much at all.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure these two cards still get run in
Yeah.
Tempo Warrior.
Yeah, they're pretty key in that deck.
I mean, the
But-
Bloodsworn is sort of relevant for like a lot of reasons, because you don't always try to do it on the combo that kills them. Sometimes you're just using it as something to get a lot more tempo, and a 3/3 3 mana body with upside, like massive upside a lot of times, can just win them games. And now it dies faster to Skipper. There's things that maybe change it, and the Blood Boil Brute maybe doesn't kill some things that it would otherwise kill, but Warrior's still crazy strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that I
and
was thinking
speaking
about
of-
it is that you weren't playing the Bloodsworn Mercenary for the 3 mana 3/3. You were playing it for the 3 mana 6/9 Death Rattle summon a 3/4, right? This does not get rid of the combo potential. It just makes the low rolls lower.
Right.
And that's not what people hate about Warrior. It's usually the part where they hit you for 24 damage on turn 9 with some crazy combo with Korkron Elite, and that doesn't change anything about that. Maybe they don't survive as long because they needed to play a 3 mana 2/2 as a tempo card rather than a 3 mana 3/3. But it's not really gonna be that much of a difference. I don't see it changing by like a percentage point in that specific idea.
Yeah. And the last part, Paladin gets like a minor buff. I don't know. I don't feel like it's even worth discussing yet until we see some major changes.
Okay. Yeah, there is something to be said about 1-mana 1/3s with upside. I think there is definitely something to be said about that, but I don't think it's really even still good enough. Honestly, I don't think it is.
Yeah. And then, Rogue here, we've got Stunner and Hanar, and that can be pretty significant. Like, the Stunner making things bounce back and cost 2 was insane. And now that it changes it by 1, it's going to be pretty relevant, I think. And the same with Hanar hitting different breakpoints for being able to remove it, especially early. I don't know how massively it hurts Secret Rogue, but we might start seeing rogues drop out a bit more or replaced by different archetypes. Maybe Highlander Rogue is a lot more on the rise here. I think I've already seen that starting to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think it's probably about time we moved on to the review.
Yeah, I think so. All right.
All right. So with last week's review, and A2, do you want to take this first one?
Oh, I'd love to. It's
oh my God, it's the first one. Oh man, I almost want to take it. Why did I give it to you?
So I believe it's Dad Legend versus
Yep.
ATL. Is that what we want to do first?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
This seems to be a near shutout for ATL. It's 4-1 for Advanced Tactical Lackeys with a score of 16-7. Blue Spartan taking over Isocles 3-1. Starlack sweeping Binoculars. Pond, aka Free Hong Kong, sweeping Yellow Dart. Shadow Ranger beating Hockey Boys 3-1, and Shun Sui beating Turd Herder 3-1 as well. And I gotta say, congratulations, Blue Spartan. That really shows you how good it is to have a team with Blue Spartan as a captain. I mean, leading off with the 3-1 and then having most of his lackeys come in the bottom ones, and those are some big wins. Like Hockey Boys is no slouch. Neither is Yellow Dart or Turd Herder.
No, I was really shocked. I was honestly shocked when I found out Hockey had lost. I think he led the week with that 1-3.
Yeah.
And when it just kept going, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I can't take credit for it. All right, I really can't. Like they want to believe that the curse is real, but come on, guys, this is just. At some point, I felt like you're just doing this. You're just doing this like on purpose to like mess with my score here. But I can't believe that either. You guys just had a real down week. But coming off of 2 back-to-back sweeps, you're gonna kind of have a downturn at some point. But this was a kind of steep downturn.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure y'all do better next week. All right, I don't think you're going up against the best team in Hero next week. So, well, actually, no, that's debatable if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. This was a great match overall, though. Honestly, I just had a feeling that ATL was a little bit underrated, and they were gonna get really hyped up playing against Dad Legend, who everyone was kind of touting as invincible with back-to-back 5-0s and 46 points undefeated. But ATL was undefeated too, and I think they were just really motivated. They showed up and played a great game, and it just goes to show that no one is invincible. Dad Legend is still an excellent team. They're still going to be almost certainly playoff contenders, but you can't just go out there and get 20-point wins every single week. Not in a field as stacked as this. ATL, I think, was just the first to kind of show them up and put them on notice here, but just letting everybody know, hey, this is a really tough series, and there's going to be a lot of hard-fought weeks like this one in the future too.
So I want to say congrats to you, Ron, for calling it.
Do bleed.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was worse than a coin flip last week, but somehow I got this right. So hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, moving on. Next we have NPH versus the Cult. We had Cult taking 2 huge wins in the 1-2 with Heat Shock and Last Champ, both sweeping PWE and Skittles. 3, we had Sanguine beating Disco. What was that, 3-1? Yeah. 4 seed, we had Posca, who had many victories that night, beating me 3-2. And then in the 5, Electabuzz beat Quaz 3-1. But yeah, huge win for the Cult is what NPH were second after last week, I believe.
Can I just say
Yeah.
I
Or
predicted
before.
every single one of these matches correctly?
Yes, you did.
I can't believe that happened. So I think I might have to go with that strategy again. Heat Shock, Last Champ, Sanguine, they're all great players. Ted and Quaz, trash. Easy 3-2.
Oh man.
That's going to be a good formula to go by, I think.
Yeah.
But that's definitely an impressive victory for the Cult here. No pros here, 38 points, 2-0. Absolutely, on fire. And Heat Shock and Last Champ just with back-to-back sweeps on PWE and Skittles. That is incredible. And then Sanguine, Disco, that was always going to be, I thought, a pretty tight match, but she's another amazing player who got that victory. And then, easy predictions in the 4 and 5.
Yeah. And yeah, much needed for the Cult as they were starting to slip out of it early.
Yeah, and moving on to the next one,
Yeah.
we've got the Spies That Flies versus Young Guns. In the 1, we got Dabs taking it 3-2 over Obviously, which, wow, we all keep picking Avi to win, and he's kind of not having that super great of a season. But I still wouldn't put it past him to turn it around, because Avi is just a really incredible player. And then we've got Lotus Knight taking it 3-0 over Catman. I think I had picked Catman here, and yeah, why are you doing this to me, Catman? Anyways, and then we got Basting, my girl, taking it 3-1 over Diamond, which I think if I had known it was going to be Diamond, I still would have picked Based any day of the week. And then Lemur taking it 3-0 over Views, who I'm facing this week. And if it wasn't for coronavirus and everything going on, I think I'd actually go and meet up with him and play our match in person, because he's a good guy. He lives nearby. He's really awesome. But yeah, we'll get on to our match here later. And then Chubbs Peterson's Hand taking it 3-1 over Doomsday. So Young Guns having a pretty bad start to the season so far, but there's still room to come back. It's still early enough, and Spies That Fly is really showing that they are what it's made of, what you need to make an early playoff run.
I feel like the most unbelievable part about this is that you're the team that beats Avi, and yet you only managed to put up 6 points on the week.
Yeah,
Like-
I think that just shows the strength of the rest of Spy's
Yeah.
roster. Like, that team is incredible. From 1 to 5, they are highly competitive, and I don't know. I guess the Young Guns are kind of having a rocky start too, but Spies That Flies might be a threat to put up this kind of week on anybody.
Definitely. And as you can see, they're the top team right now, at least points-wise.
Yeah, that's right. Only undefeated team.
Yeah.
in Hero.
Well, no.
Oh, wait,
ATL.
no, they're not.
ATL is.
Yeah, ATL and Spies, yeah.
Yeah.
ATL and Spies.
I like to think that I've thought of a working theory that Avi is just good friends, and either subconsciously or on purpose is the greatest friends with people who are just insane players. Just out of coincidence, I happened to meet Avi and we became really good friends at school. And then we crushed it in duo series. And then literally every single series that Avi is in, he gets all of his friends that he likes, and then he just wipes the floor with people. And even if he doesn't do well, he has a great net, a safety net of people to kind of back him up and take him out. And I know Avi a little bit better than maybe some of you guys. He's been really busy these past 1 or 2 weeks with setting up some tournament stuff for his school, for our school, and he's been working like so much on it. So I'm not surprised that he, dropped a series to him, and I think it's a testament to his ability that he's been doing all this stuff and playing all this other stuff, and is in 3 series, and he gets a 3-2 loss, right? Like even if he has other things on his mind, he can still clutch out a few games for his team just to sweeten the deal.
Solid. Also, though, are you telling us now this means we should be picking against Avi going forward? He's too distracted. I see what you're saying.
No, I'm
New
saying
plan.
I'm pretty sure most of that stuff is done. We'll have to see. Well, yeah, I'll just say we'll have to see. I'm not really sure.
All right.
But yeah, we won't torture Diamond too much further with
Yeah.
hanging on to this one. Let's move on to F2L and Oyo team.
All right. Go ahead, bro.
So this match here, another pretty interesting one. It actually got a lot closer than I initially expected it would be. Itachi against Ducharme, I think, was the last match that was played.
Yeah, it was.
Right? It was. So it could have gone either way right up until that match. But yeah, R-Hat continuing his very strong season. Ox also insane in the 3, and Chronic is also undefeated in the 4 seed here. So in a series full of stacked 4 seeds, they got more to worry about too with the Chronic here. And then Jim Falo's taken a solid win, 3-2 over Kazargar in the 5. This was just back and forth all over the place. Even though we see some sweeps, I'm sure they were much closer than the actual final score reflects. A lot of times that's the case, especially in Hero. I'm not just saying that because I got swept by A2. But no, but really, I mean, this was a hotly contested match, which I was pretty fascinated by, given a Noyo team is down at the bottom of the standings without a win, but they seem poised to turn it around. And F2L
they do
just
not
doing well.
They do not have a roster you want to slouch on, that's for sure.
Yeah, any team with Desharmo and R-Hat in the 1 and the 2, it's like if Dano and Mad at Arms can turn around their season at all, and I mean, Dano's a very good player. I think he got Legacy MVP once. Mad at Arms is a very good player as well. I remember he stomped me in Wild just recently too. So they're very, very capable of starting to put up some points and putting themselves in the playoff discussion soon.
Well, I mean,
and you can't brush off Jim like that, man. Jim is finally above 50 PR, and he is just going to keep winning and doing his team justice and making his PR, now that it's above 50, worth it to keep on the team. I'll tell you what.
I mean, you were talking about Dano and Mad Arms having to turn around their seasons, but it's not like Ducharme is doing too much better. He's going to have to start putting some wins together, too.
Yeah, I mean, he did miss a week, but
Yeah.
0-2 to start. This is going to be a big week for him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Let's go ahead and move on to the
Yep.
next one. A2,
All right.
please
A2.
take it away.
Go ahead.
All you, buddy.
Yeah, okay. Let's go. This matchup was Tampam Surf Slam versus the Burninator's. We had a very close match at the beginning with A2 Battleship versus RonMexico with a sweep.
So close. So close.
Coming off on the second seed, we got NHL NJ Fan 1, or as he's colloquially known to most of the casters as Martin Brodeur, beating Lil Harthy 3-2, Juggerlaw beating Medusa's 3-1, Osmonaut, or I believe he's also called Darkhawk, beating Sage 3-2, and then sadly Mike V getting swept by Silver T-Fox Demon. And I gotta say, Tampam Surf Slam looks really cool right now and awesome, and they can't be beat, and they're the best. And when they did lose, it was completely a fluke.
Solid.
Yeah,
No bias.
you know what? Like I said, I didn't bring Demon Hunter last week, and I took it to 5 games, all right? So y'all watch out. Y'all watch out.
That's right. Sage is hungry for that 1-3 start.
I am.
He's on the rebound.
I am.
He's
I am on the
he's
rebound.
on the rebound.
That's right.
Very much.
Just
And
look out.
good job, Silver, taking down Mike, who I couldn't seem to freaking beat last season. Oh, it drove me crazy. I faced him like 3
Mike.
different times. Oh, God, frustrated.
Yeah,
the
that
hell
was great. Silver's going off to a good start so far, 2-1, and just picked up a sweep there.
Yeah.
It's a good thing he did. That was the last match of the week for us, and it could have looked a whole lot worse final score wise than it did.
Yeah. It could have gone the other way, actually, I believe. If I got swept instead, I think you guys would have won. Let's see, you would have been at 13
Yeah,
and we would have been at
13.
12.
You would have been at 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is also a very good possibility, given what I've talked to RonMexico about this match. There's a good possibility that he just beat my face hunter with his demon hunter, and then if I did not win the demon hunter mirror, it was very obvious that it would have been 3-1 in his direction. Although that is just woulda, coulda, shoulda,
Well,
right?
That's right.
Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
We
should've
don't
played around
dwell
top
on
deck kill
that.
command.
Should have played
Yeah,
Yeah,
around it.
we're not going to dwell on it. We're going to move on to the next one.
And then our last match here of
Sage?
last week was what, License to
Sure.
Illidan and Booze
Yep.
Cruise.
Sage, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, and this was super close. Oh my goodness, 13-12. We had Trippy Toad going 2-3 versus Zancat, which I'm pretty hot on the Zancat train. He is my Xanax. He sedates. Yes. And then Donde going 3-0 versus Dr. Bomb D. And wow, why didn't I go for Donde this past week? What is wrong with me?
Oh, no,
I
man.
love Donde. Anyways, Matty Ebbs going 3-2 versus Anfall, which, man, he is on a tear. Matty Ebbs is really kicking it hard right now. And, Cone, rest in peace. And then in the 5, we've got Shu taking it 3-1 over Saku. And that really settled it. 13-12 for License to Illidan over Booze Cruise. Super close. That DQ really did Booze Cruise absolutely no favors. I believe they're replacing him with Scritch. I think Scritch is coming in to sub this next week, and that's a really good call. Scritch is an amazing player. I am so happy to see him back in THL. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this next week. I think Booze Cruise is going to be much improved with this new player on their team.
Definitely.
Absolutely, that'll be fun to see. And before we miss it, we got a couple subs here. Thank you very much, Lemur. Looks like Lemur subscribed and gifted a sub to Buse.
Yes, thank you very much.
Super awesome.
My man.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, that's about as good a transition as we can
Yeah.
have for our little commercial break,
Yeah.
where we ask the rest of you to please subscribe to our channel. Subscribers will actually get a THL emoticon as well as that lovely THL chat badge. And by subscribing, you enable the THL team to help cover the various costs of operating our website, as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you happen to have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, you can actually sub to this channel for free. So hit that heart button, keep the notifications on, and make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. And special note to our viewers, check out THL's other social media points of interest as well. Our website, teamhearthlegends.com. Follow us on Twitter at @TL_HS. Join us on Discord at Team Hearth Legends. And you're, of course, watching us on this Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Team Hearth Legends. And for all you THL fanatics out there, you can tune in to a THL show every single day of the week. So if you're stuck inside during these crazy times, you can't go wrong tuning into some amazing Hearthstone-related entertainment. Now back to the good part.
All right. So, if you guys pay attention to the Hero Series Discord, you might see that there was a lot of discussion yesterday about who is the best team.
Absolutely.
Quite a bit of that.
There was
Yeah.
a lot of discussion about it because of Dad Legend finally being taken down, and it was just widely just sort of agreed that they were the best. But since they got taken down so heavily, there was a lot of discussion about who actually is the best now. And in this segment is all about that. Who do we think is the best?
Yeah, so
I would actually, A2, do you want to go ahead and tell us who you think is the best, and then we'll get on to the rest of us to see what our biased opinion is going to be.
Absolutely. I would love to do that. I would like to say that my team, Tam Pam Surf Slam, is the best team. There is no there's no way no other team could be better than our team, even though we have a loss. And even
Is
though
someone
we
holding
have
a gun to your head?
I'm holding a gun to my own head. And even though we have the second lowest AOS, we are a team of underdogs, and we use that to drive us. And because of that, I say we're the best team, which I know makes it seem like we're not underdogs, but it still means we're underdogs in my mind.
No,
Because
I mean,
I'm
it's fair.
saying-
You guys are in the top 4. You know, there is plenty of room for you guys to really take the first spot.
Hey, if it's your team and you're in the top 4, totally warranted to say you're the best team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, we got another subscription here, Twitch Prime, and I hear let's see, what do they say here? TWEEG. Tweeg.
Tweeg.
Nice.
Tweeg.
Oh, I love
That's
Tweeg.
awesome. Thank
All right.
you.
Yeah, but so it seemed like
I wish he was playing in Hero, honestly, so we
Yeah.
could get him on the show.
But yeah, anyways, it seemed like there were kind of like 3 trains of thought in the Discord mostly yesterday. There was people arguing for that the Spies are the best team because they have the best points. People arguing Dad Legend are the best team because they have the highest AOS right now of those 3 teams, and again they're right in the pack. And people arguing ATL is the best team because, well, they just beat Dad Legend.
Yeah,
So-
I'm actually on the ATL side of things. I did say that if ATL won, I would root for them being number 1. And I'm a man of my word. I do believe they're the best now. But
I would
they
definitely
are not
agree.
number 1 in the standings. So I think that they need to really prove me right this week and take it home.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I think they are the kind of the top dogs right now. But again, we're in week 3 of an 11-week season. Still a lot of HS to play.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see what the new week is actually bringing because we have some of our major top teams playing each other.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm on the Spies That Flies bandwagon here. I just can't get over their roster and how insane it looks, and the fact that they have the most points so far and are undefeated. ATL for me was a very close runner-up to the second best team right now in Hero, coming off of dethroning Dad Legend, no easy feat, and doing it in spectacular fashion. I was on the fence, but I went with what I think might be just the strongest overall team. But that's why we play the games. We got some more weeks to prove it.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of that, let's get into this week. All right. We have the first match here. I'll run through it. The Spies That Flies versus Dad Legend. The 1 seed we have obviously versus Isocles. 2, Lotus Knight versus Starlax. 3, Based versus Yellow Dart. 4, Lemur versus Hockey. And 5, Chubbs Peterson's Hands versus Turd Herder. Jesus.
What
yeah.
a matchup. What a week.
Honestly, it's a strong match to start it off with. All right. But yeah, I'll run through mine first. I have in the 1, I have Isocles beating Avi. 2, I have Lotus beating Starlax. 3, Yellow Dart beating Base. 4, Hockey beating Lemur. And 5, Turd beating Chubbs. I have it going 4-1 for Dad Legend.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
That's a big bounce back week for them
Definitely.
if it plays out that way. I went a little bit different. I'm backing up my my stance that Spies is the top team in Hero. I think Avi takes the 1. I think Lotus takes the 2 and Base takes the 3. Hockey I've got winning in the 4 and Turd winning in the 5. So it doesn't get too lopsided one way or the other, but Spies I think are going to take this one 3-2.
I said similarly. I said Avi takes this. You don't see him in a losing record for very long, even if you do see him in one. So I think he goes back to a neutral 2-2 after this week. I said Lotus Knight beats Starlax. He's really on the upswing as well. Base Dank. It's hard to root against someone who's lossless this, even though it's only 3 weeks in, and just spectacular play from what I've seen. One of the few people in THL who have actually beat me of like 5 or 6. Um, or I guess this season specifically. THL Lemur, I had him lose to Hockey because I'm a big believer. Even though he's heartbroken over the loss of Megathune, I think he can clutch out this week. And I had Chubbs beating Turd Herder. I think the team Avi is better at kind of captaining the lower seeds than maybe Yellow Dart is at this point, because I've kind of seen it in action. Obviously, is very meticulous with his planning for.
Well, don't overlook that Super Murloc is their captain, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. Super Murloc's the reason they're winning. Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. You can't count them out.
All right.
Oh my God. What happened here? Did I forget to put in predictions? Oh man. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to do it live, guys.
Oh my God.
All right. Anyways, it looks like that Legend really had a down week. Icicles, guys, friggin' incredible. It's so hard to root against Avi, but Icicles is a 2-1. I think I'm just gonna go with Icicles here, taking it over obviously. And then Starlax 3-0, man. He's undefeated against 2-1 Lotus Knight, and this is a really tough one as well. But I'm gonna go with the guy that's 3-0 at the moment, Starlax. Based, my girl, man. Oh, this is tough. Yellow Dart, he kind of lost Leroy, and I think it's a big hit for him. And he doesn't have the PR. I think I have to go with Based here and give it to her. And Lemur had actually asked. I think this was supposed to be at the end of the show, but he had 2 questions for us. And said, how is Hockey a 4 seed? And what does he have to do for me to not call him washed up? Well, I'll tell you right now, your second question answers the first, which is beat Hockey. Until then, you're just going to be washed up, buddy. All right? So I'm going to give it to Hockey here, taking it over Lemur. And then we've got Chubbs Peterson's Hand versus Turd Herder. Chubbs is seeming to be on a tear this season. He is 3-0. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and give it to the guy that's undefeated. Root for him. But overall, I'm giving it 3-2 to Dad Legend. So I don't know. Do you consider that a curse? I could have said 5-0. Would you rather me say 5-0? I'll say it. I'll say it.
Oh, he's saying it. All right.
No, go ahead and stick with the 3-2.
Next up, we have ATL versus F2O Black. Ron, do you want to run us through this one?
Absolutely. So ATL, F2L Black, right off the bat, these top 2 matches are basically like what 5 or no, it's 4 of the top 5 teams right now.
Yep.
That is just insane. So another team that is in the conversation for best team here to prove, if they can take that title and hold it against F2L, who was also very hyped coming into this season with another super strong 1-2-3. I still believe in F2L's 1-2-3. I think Itachi versus Blue Spartan is going to be real close. Hesitant to pick against Itachi ever since he burned us by surprising us that he had already won when we were picking against him. So I'm going to lean into that.
Counting again?
I'm too nervous that he might be, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Itachi. I've learned my lesson. I think Rabobson finally gets back on track here. An 0-3 start's pretty rocky, but Rabobson's an incredible player, and I think this is the week that he kind of turns it around and gets a win. Ox, I don't know if I really ever pick against. I could definitely see Pond giving him a really tough game. Pond could totally win this, but for now I'm going with Ox in the 3. And then I do think ATL picks it up in the 4 and the 5. I'm especially interested in Shadow Ranger versus the Chronic. I'm hoping we could get that on stream because 3-0 versus 3-0, these 4 seeds in Hero are just nonsense good. And this would be an awesome match to see. I think Shadow Ranger takes it, but I think it's going to be close. And my man Shunsui sending everybody to the Shadow Realm. He's going to pick it up in the 5, but F2L is going to take this one 3-2.
All right, yeah, I think I'm pretty similar to you. I have Itachi winning the 1, Rebob winning the 2. Ox winning the 3, Shadow winning the 4, and Shunsui winning the 5. So yeah, I'm exactly where you are, 3-2 F2L.
I wanted a little bit differently than you two. For Blue Spartan versus Itachi, I said specifically, where is it? I haven't seen enough from Itachi. I need to see more. I'm not convinced.
Well played.
I
yeah.
I think I think the strength of ATL will really show this week specifically because um, Blue Spartan is where he wins his games is on the statistical side. And if there's ever a time where you really need it, it's right after a big nerf, right in that pocket area where it's enough where you get a little bit of stats, but you can't like become comfortable with these decks yet. Right on the edge of being solved and completely chaotic. This is where people like Blue Spartan, Heat Shock, and those types of people, this is where they really shine. So I see Blue Spartan taking it over Itachi. I say Rebobson, they've been struggling for way too long. I think they pick up their step and win that one. And then from then on, it's just all ATL. Hong Kong takes it over Ox, Shadow Ranger over Chronic, and Shun Sui over Kazargar. I think part of that will be, if not all of it, definitely not all of it because the players still play, but most of it will be just the amount of preparation Blue Spartan nails on these people, and being on his team in Legacy, he's real good at just nailing it every single time.
All right.
Yeah, man. I would love to see how Blue Spartan does it now that you've talked about him so much. Honestly, I am honestly on the same boat with Blue Spartan as far as like I think the guy is just incredible, and I've always felt Itachi was a little rated, but I mean
There
he's
it is.
okay. I'm not going to sit here and say he's bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I think Blue Spartan probably has his number this week, and so I'm going to give it to Blue Spartan in the 1. And I think I'm going to give it to Lars in the 2. I know he's not having a super great season either, but Rebobson is just struggling so much. I think this could be Rebob's week to come back for sure after the nerfs. I know he loves Priest, and I think it probably will do better against the field now that stuff that it's already good against got nerfed. So, I mean, I don't know. Rebob, please prove me wrong, man. I love you. But I'm giving it to Lars for now. And in the 3, I think I'm not too sold on either of these guys, Pond or Liquid Ox. I know Liquid Ox is insane, but like that's specifically Rogue that he's insane with. And I've heard his prep game isn't all that great. But I think I'm gonna give it to Pond here because I really like the guy for what he did for us last season indirectly, and I'm gonna give it to him over Ox. And in the 4, got Shadow Ranger versus the Chronic, both undefeated. So this is a tough one to pick. But Shadow Ranger, I'm up against him in Wild this week, actually. And I expect he's going to put me in the grave. But I'll take it to 5 games if I can. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Shadow Ranger. And in the 5, we've got Shunsui versus Kazargar. Kazargar really, man, he's not doing too hot. I think I'm going to give it to Shunsui easy. Go ahead and send him to the Shadow Realm, my boy.
All right. Next up, E2, go ahead.
All right. We got Tampam Surf Slam versus the Cult. This is hopefully one of the times where we win. I had 4-1 where the only loss was myself because, like I said, the people who really do well in this type of week are the people who are highly in the stats and knowing Heat Shock since before THL, or at least knowing of him. I hadn't really talked to him before. He's a big stats guy. So I think him specifically will beat me, but I think the rest of my team is just so solid and great and good to. The words are escaping me. Like cognizant of each other and how to communicate. That I think that as a team we can pick up the pace and outperform them. I hope I'm right. That's the one thing.
Yeah. Honestly, I went with the exact same strategy you did. I said 4-1 for the Cult with everybody except myself winning.
Yeah, I like the patented quaz picks on either side. That's good. Pick yourself to lose, pick everyone else to win.
Yeah, I figured that's what the cult was missing this season, was a host on Saloon picking everybody except themselves. So yeah.
I like it. For me, I'm gonna go with the same thing that paid off last week. I got every single one of the cult games correct. So, Heat Shock wins the 1, Last Champ in the 2, Sanguine in the 3, Ted and Quaz lose in the 4 and 5.
Thanks for the
But
confidence, my man.
I mean, I think it could go a lot of ways. It's just I really like A2's point about preparation and especially the nerfs coming into play. So I think this one's close, but I think 3-2 cult.
I just don't understand how you pick against a guy that's undefeated, man. A2, he beat Ron, and I have the utmost respect for
Hey,
Ron.
in
So
fairness,
I'm
Heat Shock
going
beat me
A2
too.
here. I
They,
know.
they both beat
Okay,
me.
I knew that going in, but yeah. I think the 3-0 kind of like just says it speaks to me. Okay, so I'm giving it to A2. I'll go ahead and give it to Last Champ in the 2 though, over Martin Brodeur and Sanguine. Oh my goodness, love Sanguine. I'm gonna take it over JR Juggernaut every day of the week. Although I don't think she'll employ the patented tactic of tilting JR. She's a little too nice for that. But I think she'll take it either way. And then I just can't. I can't root for the Colts bottom 2 at the moment. So we'll just go ahead and go with Oz and Mike there and give it to Tampam's 3-2.
All right. Next up, we have NPH versus the Booze Cruise. Sage, go ahead.
All right, man. We got NPH versus Booze Cruise. We got Agent Pee Wee versus Zancat in the 1. Skittles versus Dr. Bomb D in the 2. Pasca versus Matty Ebbs in the 3. Disco versus Scritch, my boy, in the 4. Electabuzz versus Chewbacca in the 5. And, man, I am stoked for this one. I really, Let's go ahead and get started here. I think Zancat, my Xanax, he is going to take it over Pee Wee. He's just doing pretty good right now. And I think they're both, like, Pee Wee could definitely bring it back. But Zancat's going to keep it going. And then I've got Skittles taking it in the 2 over Dr. Bomb D, who I think they're both great players as well. But I just think Skittles probably is going to get it here. At least on PR alone. I guess you could go with that. And Matty Ebbs is on a tear. He is going to take it every day of the week. I don't know. Honestly, they're both on a tear. Pasca's no slouch. But Matty Ebbs, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's toggled this season, that's for sure. And Scritch, I could never root against Scritch. Don't even ask me to. All right, I don't care if he's like 0-5 against somebody that's 5-0. I'm gonna give it to him because he'll bring it back that week.
Nice.
And then I've got Electabuzz taking it over Shu. Electabuzz is also undefeated, and it's just really hard to root against these guys that are undefeated, man. It really is. So I'm giving it 3-2 to Booze Cruise. They're gonna finally get their first win this week, thanks to Scritch getting added to the roster.
See, all right, like I agree with you that Scritch is beating Disco. However, I don't think Booze Cruise is getting anything else. I think PW takes the 1, Skittles takes the 2, Posca takes the 3, and Buzz takes the 5. So I have it 4-1 for MPH.
Yeah, this was a week where NPH is coming off of a tough loss to the Cult, and I think it's a bounce back week for them, but it's also a make or break week for Booze Cruise, being 0-3. This is going to be pretty important. That being said, I still do see NPH having a strong week here. I think PWE takes the 1. I think Skittles takes the 2. Matty Ebbs versus Posca was a really tough call, but Posca got all his 3 wins in the 4, so maybe he has a tougher time in the 3. I think Matty Ebbs gets this one. I do think Scritch just coming back to THL. Probably not going to be able to overcome the PR gap against Disco. We'll see what happens. But I've got Disco taking this one and Electabuzz in the 5 over Shu. So 4-1 NPH for me.
Right.
I had a 3-2 for NPH with the wins coming from PWE, Skittles, and Disco. I think Disco is, I mean, the PR difference is one thing, but I feel like Disco is just is going to come back from a 1-2. I don't think I don't think 1-2 really does him the justice he needs. I believe he's a real good 4 seed. I think Posca's a great analysis guy. I'm not 100% on him versus Matty Ebbs because I've been on a team. I'm on a team with Matty Ebbs, and he's just on a tear in all of the series, pretty much. I think he's only in 2, but he's been in a tear in them. And I had Electabuzz losing to Shu. One because of the PR difference, and two because I think Shu's going to pick up the pace a little bit coming into the series. So I had 3-2 and PH.
All right.
Awesome.
Next up, we have License to Illidan versus the Inoyo team. 1 seed, we have Donde jumping back up into the 1 versus Ducharmo. 2, we have Trippy Toad who moved down to the 2 against Arhat. 3, we have Amphil versus Dano. 4, we have Mako versus Mad Arms. 5, we have Saku versus Jim. Alright, so for this matchup, I have Donde beating Ducharmo in the 1, Arhat beating Toad in the 2, Amphil beating Dano in the 3, Mako beating Mad Arms in the 4, and Jim beating Saku in the 5. But that is a 3-2 for License to Illidan.
I think this is the week where a Noyo team gets back on track. I think they get their first win here. I've got them as a 3-2 this week. I think Ducharmo finally gets that win. Donde's very good, but Ducharmo sitting at 0-3 in the 1 seed. I don't see it. Arhat continues his tear and picks up a win in the 2. I think Dano
0-2.
can get
Just
the 3. Oh yeah, you're right. I think Dano can get the win in the 3, and I got Mako in the 4 and Saku in the 5 for a 3-2 Inoyo team win, getting their first victory on the board.
If only life was that easy. I don't think it's going to play out that way. I think Donde, he has worked his way into my heart with his words and his record, and he is going to take it over to Sharmu. I know he's just entering the 1 in Hero, but I think he can do it. And he's going to take it over to Sharmu, who is kind of having a little bit of a slump this season. Donde's bringing it back. And then in the 2, Arhat is just incredible. He is going to take this every day of the week against Trippy, who is not having a hot season at all. Anfall and Dano, I think Anfall's just barely keyed in a little better than Dano. I think he's probably going to take it over Dano here. Mako is doing pretty well. I think he's going to take it over Mad Arms. And then we've got Jim, who I just can't seem to pick against. I love Jim. I love Saku too, don't get me wrong. I love both these guys. But Jim is doing a little better, and I love Jim. I'll go ahead and pick Jim here and give it 3-2 to License to Illidan.
I similarly had License to Illidan winning this. Donde, great player, better board member. But again, he's a great player, and usually when it rains, it pours. So I have Ducharmo losing that one. Right now, it's really hard to say Trippy Toad will win this, not only because he's 0-3, but also because he's against Ridiculous Hat, who is just amazing right now. Anfall versus Dano. I had Anfall winning that. I'm not really sure that Dano's in the right headspace or anything. 0-3 is hard to come back from. I've been there and usually wallow in that pit for a while. And similarly, that's why I have Mako winning. But I have Jim clutching out for the 5 seed, having LTI winning that just by a 3-2 margin.
Perfect.
All right, and then finally, I believe this is you, Ron.
So Burninators versus Young Guns. We had a rough week. Burninators did against Tan Pams last week, but we're up against Young Guns, currently the absolute bottom of the standings. So we're definitely hoping we can pick up the victory and start moving our way into the playoff hunt. I think this is going to be close, but I think we are still going to take this one down. I've got myself in the 1, Harthy in the 2, 9 Eyebrows got subbed for Diamond. Is that right? Or yeah, I think actually we don't have this updated because Diamond is actually subbing in for 9 Eyebrows.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I grabbed these last night, so it wasn't updated on the site then.
Diamond, I love you, buddy, but Starkey's gonna stomp you. I'm calling the 3-0 sweep right now on Diamond specifically. We'll see if that
Ouch.
happens. And then I think Buse turns it around against Sage because I don't know, buddy. Maybe we never should have added you to this team.
Hey,
And,
I earned my spot. All right, I earned it.
Yeah, you're right. And lastly, we've got Silver in the 5. I think he can get the win over Doomsday here, and that puts it to a 4-1 Burninator's victory.
That's not biased at all. And let me give you another unbiased opinion here. All right, we've got.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I've got RonMexico. Right, I cannot pick against this man. He is just so good. He's not in this call, is he? He is so good. I'm giving it to Ron and the 1. Lil Herthy, Ron speaks bounds about Lil Herthy, and I know they're not having that hot of a season, but I think Lil Herthy's going to take it over this old man who likes cats, probably. And then we've got
7-year-old man.
Medusas. Yeah, 7 or 70. We've got Medusas versus Diamond. Come on, Diamond. No. Yeah, the Starkey is going to take it every time. And, this is my comeback week. One of us has to win. It's going to be me. It is going to be me. All right? I promise you that. And then Silver against Doomsday, and Doomsday is really not having a good season either. And Silver is actually having a pretty decent one. I think this is our week. I think this is our week, Ron. I think this is it. We're going to take it 5-0.
There it is.
This is it.
Yeah,
Alright.
Don't take the Sage curse too seriously, Dad Legend, because he picks Burninators to win 5-0 every week.
I am. Alright. I have Dabs winning in the 1. Sorry, Ron, but Dabs having a good season, and you're, well, you like the rest of us, except for A2, are struggling a bit.
Yep.
2,
for sure.
I have Harthy beating Catman. 3, I have Medusas beating 9. 4, Booze beating Sage. And 5, Silver beating Doomsday. So I have a 3-2 to Burninators.
Wait, does your pick change at all because Medusas is playing Diamond?
No.
Just had to double check.
Yeah.
He wants the tech caster curse anyway.
Yeah, I know, yeah. This is for you, buddy.
Oh,
All right.
got a phone call. Well, it's a good thing that it's not your turn anymore.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Anyways, go A2.
So I've never really heard of this RonMexico guy, other than he has a great mustache. So I'll just go with him. I've played Catman once. I beat him 3-0, but every time I've checked on him and checked up on him since, he's been crushing it. So I'm gonna go with Catman. I think you guys are sleeping on Diamond. I think he'll get 1 game at least. He tends to go 3-1 against even the most gross players I've seen. Yeah. And from there, I may still have Medusas winning that. I had 9 originally, but I think Medusas still wins that. I had Buse beating Sage, and then I had Silver beating Doomsday. With that actually changes my prediction to a 3-2 Burninators win over a 3-2 what was originally a 3-2 Young Guns win.
All right, you got your wish,
Casper
Diamond.
curse us.
You got your wish. You got the caster curse here.
Would it be a curse if we're rooting against him? Or is it a blessing?
I don't know.
All right. So, anyways, we are running out of time, but we're going to do a short interview with A2 here.
Yeah. Yeah, we really stretched ourselves thin tonight, but we're
Yeah.
going to go ahead and carry on, my good soldier.
Yeah. All right.
So, A2, these questions are for you, my man. So,
I'm ready.
how does your team prep each week? Voice chat, scrimmage charts, etc.
Yep. So every week we have our own Discord, as I've seen most teams have, where we just talk. Talk about usual stuff. We keep a casual atmosphere, but we usually stay to mostly Hearthstone related stuff. We talk about what decks we've been doing well with on ladder or in tournaments. We talk about how the meta is changing and how it's been for the past week. We look at all the charts together. We usually post screenshots of the various charts that are available on the THL website. And we usually or sometimes hop in a voice chat near the end of the week, or near the end of near deadline, and we start talking about what we think we're going to bring, what anything we know about the other people, what they think they're going to bring, and what we should try to be countering and how to.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost our guest for the interview.
Oh.
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
Oh,
Yeah.
there he is.
Yeah, I apologize. That's just my Discord being weird.
No worries.
But my kind of
It's perfectly okay. Mine does the same.
we just usually talk about what we think's going to be happening through our Discord, and then usually have about an hour and a half talk every week or so, just so we can say this is our plan, this is how you should queue it, and then right before our matches we talk again, like what should we bring, and what should I look for in the mulligan, and all this other stuff. And it's really great to have a team like this, because it's a lot of down to earth people who are nice and wholesome. And
Yeah, that's right, Diamond. Prepping turns out can be really helpful.
All
no,
right.
he's a captain. He doesn't prep. He just brings them all together, and then he throws them into a room together.
Yeah.
They figure it out.
Solid.
I get that feeling. I understand that very well.
And then plus, like, Diamond isn't a rogue, so why would he prep?
Oh man.
He was a Masters Tour attendee. You
Nice.
can't take him lightly.
All right.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
All right. So next question: what advice would you have for any new players and/or captains going into THL?
That's a good question, because I'm probably pretty new compared to most other people in THL too.
Yeah.
This is my second full season. There's a lot, and I really just came in just because Avi was like, "Hey, you should do this," and I said, "Okay." Um, so you should do what I did, and when you have your friend bring you into THL, you stick with them for um, a season or two, and then I would try to diverge and look at all these other different series that are going on, and kind of immerse yourself in the community, and don't be afraid to like be on a different person's team, not with your friends, right? That way, if you get on their team again, you'll already be friends, right? So you don't have to be awkward again um, for the first week, right? Because you already know these people, and you can kind of build a rapport with them, and makes communication easier. It makes prepping easier. It makes all these different uh, parts of THL nice and fun. Um, I I think what I've seen a lot of people do is that they tend to schedule all in one day, or all in like a very short amount of time, and I don't understand that. You really need to space out your games so that you can think of each one individually, right? That
Wow.
um, you're not playing all series all at once. You should think individually about what you should do here, and then you need to compartmentalize it. So you put one here, and you don't let whatever happened in this game affect whatever happens in this game, right?
But I can't stress enough how good of advice that is, because that's what I've been doing here lately, and just look at my record.
Another thing that I wanted to note is that I saw someone who was typing in a Discord somewhere where they said, "Oh, I will never play mage," or "Oh, I'll never play shaman." I'm like, that's bad. It's bad to think like that, because it makes you close to new strategies, which could help you win games. It's worse because now you've told people that, and now they're saying, "Oh, I never have to worry about countering Highlander Mage or Highlander Shaman," which people have been playing, or Galcrun Shaman. And it makes it easier to be countered. It makes it easier for people to know what you're going to bring. And obviously, you should be welcome in the community and open, and talk to people about what you think is good and bad, to kind of be involved in the community. But that's not the way to do it, just straight up. And the last thing I really wanted to note is this is a card game that is fun and has fantastical elements in it. Even when you're playing to win, you should still be reminding yourself that this is fun for you. Because when you get burnout, and you question why am I even playing this game, and you realize that you don't even like the game for what it is, that makes it much worse, because especially this early on in the season, because now you're slogging through it and it feels like a job when I don't think anyone in THL is being paid to do this, right? I'm not getting rich playing in a casual league style series.
There you go.
Just have fun first of all, and then use that so that you're in a good mindset, and then you win.
Very well thought out answers.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
Very much. So we got another question for you here. We're getting real strapped on time, but we're going to go ahead and keep going.
Yeah.
And power through.
We're
What
almost
is
there.
the favorite roster you've ever played with, A2?
I gotta stay with what got me into THL in the original series first season with Avi and Pro, even though I did kind of bad and got 4 and 6. That's not even that good. It's like a 40%. That's not that good. And I really only started waiting until the later half of those series. But that whole team was just way more stacked than they appeared, even though they missed playoffs. Ego Waffle is an amazing player. He plays ladder at top 10, and I don't know how he does it. And he does it now when the ladder system's completely messed up, and he's still top 10. I don't understand. He's just amazing, and then he sometimes loses, and I'm like, how? But he's an amazing guy. Avi, amazing guy. Met him in college. Love him to death. It breaks my heart that I can't play with him in every series because he's got so much going on. He has so many friends. But I love him to death. I love playing
That
on him.
and PR caps, yeah.
Yeah. 2 550s really is a strain on a team. Or at the start would have been a 550 and a 490. That was on a team with Pasca. Pasca's another person that I knew before THL. I was in a very small Discord with Pasca, who had Pasca and Mike V in it, and that was back when we did Specialist Open Cups, and he was great back then. And he's great now. I love him, even though he's part of this huge thing that I didn't even realize he was in until recently. And that had Manny Skull in it too, who sadly he's way too busy for THL for this season, but I love him to death. He's probably not watching, but if he's out there, I love him. I love his stat stuff. I wish I would have him back on a team soon. And
Yeah.
the best
about Manny
thing.
Skull.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I like Manny Skull. He's got a really good name from a game that is just a cult classic.
Yeah, Grim Fandango, I think.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Alright,
had
sorry,
the
go
Grim
ahead.
Fandango guy on the Discord, and it's great. And I feel like it's bad to the question is kind of bad because it makes it seem like all these other people that I met through these series recently are bad. So I wanted to shout out some people from series I'm in currently that I think are great and are great players and are great people. Specifically, Blue Spartan, amazing stats guy, great, incredibly smart. Bill Snyder, really down to earth, really kind, like unbelievably kind. And then he just beats people up in 4 seeds. And I'm like, why is he in a 4 seed if he's beat everyone up? Right? Our hat.
He's not kind, Just
he's kind to the people on his team.
Beat the crap out of me.
He's kind to people that he's supposed to be kind to.
That's good.
Our hat, ridiculous hat, amazing guy, does everything for everything, and it's amazing how much stuff he does. And then he has time to in the middle of the night, I'll be like, "Hey, what you doing?" And then he'll talk to me. I'm like, "What a nice guy." And also he's crushing it in Wild Series, and I'm not sure how he does that. Who else? Someone who's not on my team, but I think she's in chat. Diamond, Diamond's not a girl, but Baystink. I keep losing to her, and I don't understand why, and it makes me angry. But that's how I bonded with Avi at first. So, Diamond also. I haven't played Diamond. I think I played him in duo, but he's a great guy. I was nice to Diamond once, and then he said, "Stop lying." So that tells me a lot about who he is. I've talked to Twos. Twos is great. Triss is great. Who else? Disco seems nice, but I haven't really talked to him that much. RonMexico, of course. Sage, of course. Big Ted, of course. Oh God.
Smart man calling out the cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well played.
I feel like
earned all the
I'm
brownie
missing
points.
someone, but that's all I can think of
Yeah,
right now.
all
I
right.
wanna.
Well, that's all right. We're running out of time anyway, so
Yeah.
We really are. We still have
Yeah,
one more
I could-
question here for you.
Oh, of course.
Are there any funny stories about your team, like inside jokes or memes, that sort of thing? Just a little bit of your team culture question.
Oh God. I feel like I can't do this the full justice. I feel like Mike V would be better at doing this in this scenario because he's been on the team for longer and knows about it way more than I do. Apparently, the name Tampan Surf Slam comes from some scene from the 2016 movie Dirty Grandpa. I've never seen the movie, but I've seen the scene. It's a very funny scene where this guy named Tan Pam, it's a guy named Pamela. He like comes into his own shop called Tampan Surf Slam and like shoots through a door and like pretends to like be offended that they would want drugs from him when they didn't ask for drugs, and then tries to sell them drugs anyways. Really funny. There's JR Juggalo in the chat too, who's part of the series or part of the team. Most of the people, or I guess only two of the people I met before Tampams. Mike V I met through the Discord, like I said before, and JR Juggalo I played against him in pro. And the funny story behind that is that he showed up 14 minutes late, and then I got really angry at him, and I threatened to DQ him, and then he beat me. He swept my Murloc bottom.
Oh,
Yeah.
so close to just
Yeah.
taking the DQ win.
Should've taken it.
If only he would have been 1 minute later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad because it was he said sometime between like this 30-minute span, and it was 14 minutes after the end of the 30-minute span. It threw me off. I don't think it was
still
completely unintentional, but it threw me off for a huge loop.
It's still good on you for still playing the match out, because that's like the core. That's the golden rule of THL is just play your matches. People.
Yeah.
If you're able to.
Yeah,
them.
I'll be honest. I was gonna be a jerk and just DQ him, and then Avi actually talked me out of it. I was so fed up because I was losing so much in that series.
Yeah.
Reluctantly doing the nice thing. I like it.
I was just gonna say the last thing you want to be known as is a Dodger.
Hey, I'm sure Lemur's in the chat. I learned my lesson.
Yeah, there it
all
is.
right? Like, just let's leave this in the past. All right, the memes were funny. We'll just we're running pretty stressful time here. I think we need to wrap it up, guys.
Yeah. All right. I'm really quickly gonna shout out the other shows we have coming up this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Tomorrow night we obviously have Heart Center, 8 Central or 8 East or 9 Eastern. They'll go over the Pro Series. Thursday night we have Tavern Talk, which at 8 Eastern goes over the Legacy Series. Friday we have Friday Night Fights. Saturday we have Saturday Showdown. Sunday it's Sunday Showdown and Salty Saturday. But Sunday we have Sunday Showdown. And then at some point this weekend we will have Schoolstone. Being sure to keep your eyes on the THL Discord to see what matches will be played and when during those nights, as those have not been finalized yet. And Monday night we have the new Wild Show, Wild and Out.
Oh, and don't forget about THL POW as well, the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure to catch that.
Yes.
I need to add that
Definitely do
to
not
the commercial. I keep forgetting to do that, but I'll try to make sure to do that next.
Yeah, of course, that gets recorded right after the show tonight and then gets put out sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, and I just want to go ahead and thank all of our lovely viewers for tuning in tonight for our slightly extended show. We love you all very much. And A2,
Dano does forget to.
And A2, you've been a very fantastic guest. That was some of the most well thought out answers. I think those are the most well thought out answers to the interview questions we've had yet. And I think you set a new bar for all of our future guests to strive to overcome.
I'm calling out all future Saloon guests. You need to do better at questions. They're carrying this for you. Don't screw it up.
All right.
Come for you.
But yeah, anyways, thank you everybody for joining us tonight, and we will see you guys next week.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
I've been Sage.
Yeah, I've been Ted.
I'm RonMexico.
I am and continue to be A2 Battleship.
All right, see you guys.